Good morning. Today's topic, the wealth principle, is wealth principle number 4. Put all of your eggs in one basket and guard that basket. You want to make sure that you're putting everything, all your energy, all your focus, all your money, all your relationships, everything into one space, and we're getting a solid return on investment in that one space. Now this goes against, I was hanging out with a financial advisor last night. He saw my post. He's like, look, put all your eggs in one basket. He started reading the comments. I was turning back to one of my friends and I said, because he was like, well, how does that work? What do you mean? Like, that's opposite of everything I've heard. I was like, well, that's because broke financial advisors, and that's all my buddy heard. He stopped at broke financial advisors. He came with a cigar shop. He was like, broke financial advisors, huh? Because he's a financial advisor. He's like, well, I'm just a broke financial advisor. I was like, no, Andy, you're not. I know you're not broke. 2 things. 1, he's Jewish. So let's be real. He's probably just, he thinks and money comes out. And then, I know, it's messed up. But this is a cigar shop. This is the roughhousing that we're having in there. And the other side is, he's a very good financial advisor. He's not just telling you to diversify. What he's telling you is, diversify when you have money, diversify. But in the beginning, you don't have money. You got nothing to protect. So what are you going to diversify? If you have nothing, don't diversify your nothing, right? If you got no energy, it's time to get your energy and put it into one thing, right? If you have 10 things and you're trying to focus on 10 things, Warren Buffett, you can write this down if you've never heard this before. I've said it before. But Warren Buffett says, take the top 25 things you want to do in your life. Top 25 things, make a list. And then scratch off the bottom 20. And just forget them entirely and focus on the top 5. Emily, you're late. Good morning. That's it. Focus. His point, and Warren Buffett is the king of diversification, right? You look at his portfolio, it's all over the place. He's got a whole bunch of stuff all over the place. But in the beginning, he's the one who came up with that quote. He's the one who said, put all your eggs in one basket and guard that basket. That's Warren Buffett quoting. In the beginning, how he started, how he built his wealth, was not through diversifying penny stocks. He put everything into one move that he thought was going to be a very good move. He built a business. Anybody know his history, the beginning of Warren Buffett? He built a vending machine business. He was doing paper routes. You've heard this? So where'd you hear it?
I read a book on him.
You read a book on it?
Yeah. The Snowball.
Snowball?
Yeah, The Snowball.
The Snowball?
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet.
Great book.
Very good.
Put it on the list.
And
Berkshire
how do you...
Hathaway started over in New Bedford.
Berkshire Hathaway was in Bedford? That they bought eventually. Yeah. So that's somebody you should be studying. If you want to become a billionaire, actually, I'm going to read that book. He said Snowball Effect, right?
Just a snowball.
Just the snowball. Snowball.
That's it.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay. Who wrote it?
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
Wow. Your name again?
Matt.
Matt. Give Matt a round of applause. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother, hooking us up with a book. Although not the book of the week. Me and Mike Shine were talking about it. We've been talking about this book for a while. We're going to talk about The One Thing. Phenomenal book. But we're going to get into that later. So first starting off, who here has heard diversify, right? The key to success is diversify your portfolio and you'll be rich. Right? If you just diversify, eventually everything's going to work out. What diversification does is it protects you from losing money. The whole reason that you diversify is because you never know that one thing. If you put it in the wrong basket, you can lose the basket. Right? You've heard of, if you put all your thoughts and dreams into one thing, then it falls apart, now everything's crushed. Right? Who believes that that's a reality? That could happen.
No, absolutely.
That's true. It could happen. Hence the second phrase, guard it. Right? Guard it with everything you have. Protect it. Somebody made a comment, actually, you guys know Frank Padalano from Cashflow Kings. So he made a comment, he's like, well, does that mean I should put it into, and this is my Frank Padalano voice, does that mean I should put it into crypto stocks? I think if it was, I know he's ribbing me. I don't care if you put it in crypto. You can make a shit ton of money in crypto if you guard it. And what does it mean by guarding it? Operate the way that arena works. Crypto, the only way to make money in crypto, what's up, bro, is if it's going up, you're selling off, it's going down, you're buying in, right? That's the only way you can make money in crypto. That's called guarding your asset. Protect it. Make sure you protect your balance, your income. You can make money doing anything. There's no such thing as a risky investment if you understand the investment. I don't like crypto because it doesn't pay a dividend. I'm lazy. I'm a lazy investor, right? I don't like crypto because it doesn't transfer fast enough, right? I can't get in and out of the transaction within a couple of seconds. I gotta wait minutes, I gotta wait hours. In that time, things can move and shift. It's not my type of investment. Right? I'm not patient enough. But to Frank's point, you could do it, right? If that was your asset and you decide to put all your eggs in it, you could do it. Real estate's been my asset. You're sitting in one of my assets right now. This is a cool building. You guys see from the outside? 10 units, right? Potential evaluation's $1 million on this. Right now, it's probably worth $750, but we're working towards $1 million cap. That's what we're looking for. And all we did was buy it for $360, right? $365. Good point, Ron. $365,000. We bought it, and then we protected it. And in real estate investing, that means fixing things. It means putting tenants in, not allowing vacancies. Fixing the little minor things so that the tenant's just happy. Putting better upgrades, repairing the units to a better standard every time there's a vacancy, just go to the next level. That's protecting your asset. Keeping an eye on the tenants, having a conversation with tenants. All my tenants are on Snapchat. Every single one of them has me on Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram, and they can message me at any time. They all have my cell phone. They don't. All right, I got 57 tenants. We don't talk. A handful here and there. In every building, there's like somebody who rats somebody else out. You don't know who it is, but they're watching you. And they're like, that's how you guard and protect it. Like, I don't own 1 billion units or 1 million units. Like, I've just got 57. I can watch that. Does that make sense? When they're further away, there's something that happens in stocks, and we have the same thing in real estate. We call it slippage. Who here has heard you could invest out of town? Yeah. Who here's considered it? Yeah. When you invest out of town, it's really hard to guard the basket, isn't it? It's really hard to keep an eye on things. So there's something called slippage. The further away you get from your asset, the more likely you're losing money. You lose something because you're just not catching that little thing. In this unit, this particular unit, Ron and I left it vacant for a couple of months. We walked in one day in the summer, plain summer, like hot summer, right? We walked in one day, and I noticed I could smell the radiator. I could smell the radiator being on. And I went over, and it was cranked all the way up to 90 degrees.
Oh, sweet.
In the summer, right? Nobody had been here. It was a vacant unit. So we were losing money for 6 months in the time that we just weren't paying attention, right? Even though we're local, we just weren't paying attention to our asset. So I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm saying I've learned lessons. You got to watch the asset. You got to protect it. You got to guard it. And that's just one example. There's been others where we've had tenants who are dealing drugs, drug trafficking, or we've had gang members. We just weren't paying attention. But as soon as we did, put the eye on them, we got rid of them. And now the other tenants are happy. Right? What is it? We had vagrants in the basement. Yeah, we had homeless people. Actually, this building was a pain in the ass. This building was a lot of work.
Wow, it was a mess.
You know when we bought it? Everybody said it was a bad investment. I didn't have a single person say this was a good idea. I had all my mentors, everybody in the city said, oh yeah, I looked at it, it's a piece of shit, like don't get into that building. Now, I have the same exact people saying, oh, you want to sell? When you're ready to sell, let me know. Yeah, I'll pay you $500,000. Dude, I'm not taking 500. Not even interested. But they'd be willing to pay 140 more than we paid. And we haven't put that much into this. Maybe we put 40,000 into this over the last 2 years. Maybe.
Yeah.
Ballpark? I'd say so. So you look at how the mind. I was talking to my mentor yesterday because we're talking about doing some really big deals right now, and we were looking at it and saying, it's rough, and I can see this working, but everybody else sees it as an issue. Everybody else sees a problem there, and the fundamentals. When you really look at the fundamentals, they work. It's just there's work involved. So the condos we just bought, there was an issue with a condo association. Anybody ever deal with a condo association before?
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain how this works. And this all ties into guarding your basket, right? So the condo association manages the building. If they're not cleaning the hallways, not taking out the trash, they're not fixing the landscaping or snow plowing, then the tenants or the owners now have a bad investment, right? It looks worse, it looks bad. That was the issue. I bought a condo complex, well, majority owner of a condo complex, about 24 out of 32 units. So in that complex, with the association being defunct, and they were behind on their money, right? The condo fees just weren't coming in. They didn't have enough in the funds, in reserves. So the banks wouldn't lend on it. The banks were scared. Now here's the deal. This is the irony. The lender is a very good friend of mine, Keith Rose from Webster Bank. He's like, look, honestly, we would love this if the condo association wasn't defunct, right? He's like, it looks like a great deal. On paper, this looks great, except for this association. He's like, we can't lend on something like this. But he said, if you go in and you fix it, get the condo association back up, I can lend on this all day. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So that was the opportunity. That was some other investor wasn't watching their eggs. They put all their eggs in a basket. And maybe they diversified and they had their energy diversified as well, and they dropped the ball on this one. This guy's out in New York. He's not even local, right? He's out in New York and he's not paying attention. He's out in DC. His partner's in New York, one's in DC, and they're just not paying attention to the property they have here in Fall River. That's where they lost. That's where they lost $2 million. They
How much
bought
did
this
they-
thing.
How much did they buy it for?
3 million, 3.6,
3.8.
3.8.
What did we buy it for?
We bought it for 840,000. Look, I know the numbers. Look, so they initially bought it for 3.8. We bought it for 840,000. Do you see how much money they lost? $3 million.
Yeah.
$3 million.
They bought it.
That was purchase price. They put so much money into these units. So much money. The units are in mint condition now, right? When we picked it up, I could not believe when I walked in how amazing this was. It's just in great shape because they took all their money, they kept rolling it in, trying to, they weren't really paying attention to it, but they were at least saying yes and signing things in, right? And that's one of the elements that happens when you own a piece of property. If you have somebody else manage it and you're not guarding your basket, you're not keeping an eye on them, the money just flows right out. Anyway, we're skipping that one. We're going back.
The other good thing about
No
it
more good thing about it.
was what you did was
All
you
right.
saved the guy. No, you saved the guys.
Yeah, I give
They
them a
were
favor.
willing to get rid of the
Yeah.
$3 million because they were bleeding.
Of course.
And you came in and you solved it.
Of course. Yeah, I helped them out. I serviced them. Absolutely. That's what we do as investors, right? We service the community. People who are bad investors who aren't watching their eggs in their baskets, we'll watch them for them. That's fine. I'll take the eggs from you, and I'll just keep an eye on this basket. That's how in real estate investing works, right? We find somebody in a bad situation, we give them a good situation. They're welcome. Give yourselves a round of applause. You understand real estate investing. There you go. In our business, who here is an entrepreneur? Who owns a business? Who here doesn't own a business? Hands up high. Wrong. You are the business. You are just selling dollars. Can somebody close that back door? You are just selling your time for dollars, right? You're selling your hours for dollars. You're still a business. You're just a cheap business, right? It's funny that it's the second row, huh? Very interesting. So think about it. For all the business owners, have you considered starting another business? Yes? Have you been pitched other businesses?
Yeah.
For the people who work for somebody else, have you been pitched other businesses, other jobs?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Okay.
Did you take it? Why not?
Well, your philosophy said make $1 million in this business before you jump to something
All right,
else.
that's my philosophy. Very good.
Well, I took
Somebody else. What do you got? Thank you, Mario. What do you got?
Just not spreading myself thin.
Not spreading yourself too thin. Wow, what would happen if you spread yourself too thin?
Not gonna be successful.
Not going to be successful.
Jack of all trades is the master of none.
That's right. Yeah, very good. I like that one. I use that often. So, jack of all trades is a master of none. A master serves among kings. Jack of all trades just serves among the jesters, right? So, a jack of all trades is a master of none. Unfortunately, you think that you're focused on one thing. You're not. Every single one of you has distractions that you're allowing into your life that are stopping you from being focused on one thing. Every single one of you has money somewhere else, diversified, has energy somewhere else that is distracting you from your one thing. You don't know what your one thing is. Write this book down, The One Thing by Gary Keller. He talks about figuring out one thing to be so passionate about, so focused on, so obsessed with, that nothing else can distract you. Doing one thing to move you forward every single day, every single minute, every single hour, month, year, decade. Doing one thing that's going to move the needle. What is the one thing such that by doing it, everything else is easier or unnecessary? That's the quote. That's the moral of the book, right? And what he's talking about is in every aspect of your life. But what I'm going to talk about today is your business. Pick one. Pick one business. Pick one thing. Realtors in the room? Where are the realtors at? What city do you work in?
Fall River. Will be North Hollywood.
Realtors?
Cape Cod.
Cape Cod?
Yeah.
Very good. Rock. Very good. So this is a room of my students, right? You pick one city. As a realtor, you pick one city. What property type are you investing in?
Multifamilies. Multifamilies.
Multi? And if you haven't chosen, that's why you're broke. Think about it. Masters serve among kings. Jack of all trades, serve among the jesters. You're hunting, constantly hunting. You're going to find single families you're working a lot harder than the rest of us. You're probably putting a lot of hours in to sell a couple of houses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because single family buyers only buy one house every 7 years. It's a terrible buyer. It's a bad client. Multifamily buyers buy how many houses a year? As many as we can. Say it.
As many as we can.
That's right. We just keep buying. I bought 24 condos last year. We bought 3 buildings this year. It's only been a couple of months. We're not even at the end of February. We're looking for more. My realtors are selling my properties. You got one of my condos listed. My dad's got a condo listed. My dad's got a multifamily listed. Matt's got 4 or 5 condos under agreement. Right? My agents are busy. You guys are working hard. Getting commissions on both sides. But I'm looking for more, right? I'm looking for another 5 family, another 6 family. I'm focused on doing one thing. All I do is acquire real estate. All I do is acquire real estate. That's it. Acquire and disposition real estate. That's it. In Fall River, one market, multifamilies between 3 and up. 3 and shit, I wouldn't stop it. They just keep going. You bring me a deal big enough in Fall River, I'll buy it. Not an issue. That's focus. That's power, right? You know how many times I'm sent deals from New Bedford? Every day. Every day I'm sent a deal from New Bedford. Worcester, Boston, Brockton, Hingham. It doesn't matter. Every single day I've got deals floating across my desk because I've got a big lead gen machine. There's a lot out there operating. I don't take them and pass them to who I know. If I know you're in a niche, I can pass them to you. If I don't know your niche, I can't pass it to you. Like, Mariah, have I ever sent you a lead? Because I don't know what you're doing. Picking on you today. Good morning. Glad you're here. Give Mariah a round of applause. Andrew, ever sent you a lead? Yeah, because you're the king of Fall River. I already know, right? It's very easy for me. I don't have to think. Boom, Fall River, multifamilies. Simple, right? Right, you cold calling right now?
Oh, yeah.
You're cold calling. You're doing teams, right? You're finding you're calling just New Bedford, right?
Yeah.
And where are your leads coming from?
New Bedford.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, right.
He's focused on calling in New Bedford. He's getting leads in New Bedford, right? And you went on appointments now, right? Well,
Yeah.
Zach is, right?
He's at one now, yeah.
Zach is that one right now.
Yep.
That's teamwork. Give Ray a round of applause. That's solid. That comes from hyper focus. This is something we're working on very heavily now. It's something called hyper focus. Wealth principle number 4 is put all your eggs in one basket and guard that basket. You need a business. You need something that you can do to generate income. If you have a 9 to 5, great. Can you make more in that business? Can you increase the income in that business? You're shaking your heads no. Why not?
You only have 24 hours in a day.
Well, if you're working hourly. Who here has read the 4-Hour Work Week?
No, but I like that.
So if you've read the 4-Hour Work Week, you could take that 9 to 5 and increase your income by no longer being hourly, but becoming commission based, by becoming like value add based, right? So your agreement with the world is hourly. You don't have to work hourly. That's your crazy. That's what you thought was a good idea to negotiate at the time, right? Seems stable, right, Ray? We like stable. Ray is one of my favorite students because he's stable. He's consistent. He just stays in his lane, does his thing, but once he learns something, unforgettable. It may take a little while to learn it, right?
Yeah.
But once he learns it, boom, he just moves with power, right? Because consistency is power. Focusing on one thing is power. He's not my favorite, because I got Andrew McMurray. But it's close. I like you guys for 2 different reasons, right? You focus on marketing, and you're focused on generating. And that's the secret. Focus on one thing. So in your business, your hourly business, for the hourly guys, and there's a lot of people online who are hourly. So for you, in your business, if you're hourly and you're focused on working for somebody else, before you decide to replace that job, Amy, make sure that you've increased your income substantially. Make sure you've replaced your income and then some with something else. And if it's your spouse that you're increasing your income with, that's okay too. Yeah? Give me a round of applause for putting her husband to work. She pulled the bait and switch. She's got this is the strategy we're using. Indiana Jones, right? You get into the Temple of Doom, he gets in there and he pulls a sandbag out and replaces the idol with the sandbag. Things didn't work out. And they had to run a lot. But ultimately the principle was there. think that you've got to do a little more than just replace your income. Because if all you've done is replace your income, you've not moved forward. You haven't moved the needle. The concept is take whatever you're doing right now and earn more money that way. Increase the skills you already have and increase the money. Bring in more value for what you're doing currently. Increase that one flow. Increase that one flow and increase it to a point where you have a problem. The problem that Ron and I have is too much money. Right? Give me a round of applause. It's a real problem though. It's a legitimate problem. If I take, and here's the problem with too much money. If I receive too much money, Uncle Sam wants his share. Right? If I don't keep it in my business and keep it rolling, he'll take it away from me. It's very fair, right? We all agree that you guys are working, you deserve to pay taxes? Yes? Everybody in here?
No.
He won't take all of it. He'll take 25% of it. Yeah.
0.
So we've all said it, but I've heard so many business owners say, hey, if you're taking money, if you've paid taxes, that means you earned money, right? So it's okay to pay taxes. I disagree. I think that if you're paying taxes, it's because you took money out of the system. You took money out of the game. You should have left your money in and kept playing it and figured out a way to turn your lifestyle into a business expense, right? Run your whole lifestyle as a business expense so that you don't actually have to pay a ridiculous amount of taxes. When I first made my first $500,000 in a year, I paid $65,000 in taxes. That check was not fun to write. The next year I cut it down a little bit, and I think I paid $49 because I got a little smarter with the tax game. I didn't pay that much last year. I think it was $29,000, but I earned just as much. Last year we bought $1 million in real estate. We bought $2 million net worth in real estate. So the income kept going up, but the taxes are reducing because we're getting smarter. So your job is not to focus on just income, it's to create passive income, it's to create business, create assets. Do you know where Warren Buffett's wealth is? Anybody know? Bezos, do you know where Bezos' wealth is? Where it is.
Oh, where?
Where is it?
Amazon.
Steve Jobs? Okay.
Apple.
No.
They are.
It's in stocks.
They're in business interests.
Businesses.
They're in business interests. They own shares in those companies that they sold.
Right.
They don't own those companies anymore. They own a percentage of those companies. But they don't have enough money to go buy those companies back if they try. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You don't make money until you sell your business. Keep your money. Amazon has not made a profit. You go look at Amazon's numbers. Tesla, right? Tesla's stock is extremely valuable. Elon Musk is a billionaire because of Tesla stock. Also because of his other company that he built, PayPal. You look at, huh?
I didn't know he was
He's
paid.
PayPal and Venmo too. Yeah. Well, he sold them. He doesn't own them anymore.
I didn't realize that.
But that's where he got his money. He didn't make his money while he was building those businesses. Those businesses didn't make money. Didn't make money while he owned them. But when he sold them, profit, right? Now they make money now he made the money on the sale. But what he did is built an asset. Didn't pay taxes the entire time either, right? Because he protected his basket. He put everything, all of it went right back in, right back in, right back in, one thing. You don't hear Bezos talking about, yeah, I was invested in stocks, and I was buying real estate, and I was doing all this on the side, and I was doing cryptocurrency, and Bezos was like, dude, I sold books online, and then I sold more books online, and then I sold more books online, and then I decided to sell one other item online. I opened it up so other people could sell their items online. But all I did was sell books online and then just flick a couple switches here and there. He's doing one thing. That's it, just one thing. Maybe he is invested in other things now that he's built his wealth. But that's not how he got there. That make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Who here wants to make $1 million? Who here would rather have $1 million working for them? I've done both. I have both made $1 million and I have more than $1 million working for me. You know which one's more rewarding?
Having to work for it.
Having it work for you. Yeah. Because I got stuck in ego. It's easy to get stuck in ego. Like, I literally sold houses I didn't have to sell just to make the paycheck. Right? I sold houses that were cash flowing really well, making me $1,500 a month, just to say I earned $150,000 that month, right? I had a month where I made $300,000 one month, just to say I made $300,000. The tax bill, that's the year I made $69,000 tax bill. I didn't have to sell, right? But it was an ego thing. If I'd kept them, my cash flow would be higher right now. My net worth would be higher, my equity would be higher. But it's just a learning process. I learned so you don't have to. Yeah? Give me a round of applause for my mistakes. Yeah! Woo! It's okay. It's okay, right? So business owners, all your hands should be up. Every single one of you is a business owner, whether you're hourly or not, right? You're right now selling yourself, right? You're pimping yourself out for hourly wages. You're pimping yourself out for commission deals, right? You're out there doing whatever you're doing. You're slinging deals. You're selling products so that you can earn a profit. So you can earn, not even a profit, if I'm to be honest with you. You guys are earning an income. Anybody here have a business that runs without them 100%? You don't have to be involved. So you don't have profit, right? Profit comes from businesses that are running without you. That's profit. Income comes from your own efforts. That's why you pay taxes on it, because you're taking it out of the system. That make sense? Anybody here have interest income? Interest? Money in the banks, paying on 2%? Annual interest? Yep. Very good. So that's been one of my weaker flows, but we're looking to do some seller financing to get more interest up. Once you've been in the business for a while, you can increase your flows. You can increase the types of income you're taking in. But it's still the same basket producing the same eggs. You're just like adding the ability, the capacity to the same basket. Does this make sense? How do you pick your business? Well, we talked about that last week and the week before. I'm gonna go back and recap real quick. So in the beginning, first thought, who here has never been here before? Okay, so I'm just gonna recap real quick, give me 5 minutes. You guys okay with that? Who have been here before? Yes? Alright, so first week we came in, we talked about thinking a million. The whole plan is to make millionaires. I've only got 5 years to turn you guys, you normal people, into millionaires. Is that okay? Is it okay that it takes 5 years?
Yes, absolutely.
Would you like to do it faster?
Yep.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. Good, I did too. But it took me 5 years, right? Because I didn't have me. I was traveling all over the country trying to piece coaching together, trying to like make things work, and trying to put the puzzle together, and nobody had like this streamlined system for this area. It was all sorts of different stuff, right? But I pieced it together and I figured it out. I think it's possible to do it in 3 years. I think it's possible to do it in 2 years. I know if I had to go do it from nothing, I could do it in a year. It takes time to learn, and it's up to you whether you're willing to put the work in. Because the time is relative. It's the work you have to do. How quickly can you bend yourself and readjust your thinking and get rid of the old mindset and get to the new mindset? That's all it takes. Once you shift and you realize what it is, I'm getting to the point where I can do $2 million deals that make $2 million. We just did it. We did it in October. I'm looking at $5 million deals now, $10 million deals now, because your mind leaps quickly once it's done something. Right? But if you haven't earned your first 100,000, your first 100,000 is the bitch. That's the one. If you haven't saved, right? Charlie Munger said it. If you haven't put $100,000 away in a nest egg, I hear you. I know what that's like. I've been there. That first 100,000 is a bitch. It's like, it took me my whole first 28 years of life to figure out the first 100,000. But once I figured it out, boom, it just started moving. Doubling, getting bigger. Snowball, right? Once you have 100,000, it's not just 100,000 and the compound interest on it. It's the fact you know how to get it now. You know how to build it, right? Don't deviate from your career. Don't deviate from your skill set, from your knowledge base, from what you love, your passion, until you've got at least 100,000 sitting in the bank. It doesn't have to be in the bank. It could be in real estate. It could be in stocks. It could be in your business. It could be an investment in your business, marketing, whatever your business is, just product, right? It could be whatever your business is, just make sure you've invested in yourself first. Because your first flow of income is the most important flow. Real estate is your second flow, unless that's what you do. For me and Ron, we don't have to do anything other than real estate. We just burn and turn flips, right? Because flipping is a job, yes? Real estate as an agent is a job. Wholesaling is a job. Property management is a job. owning the asset, that's relatively passive. Still relatively passive. Who's heard owning rental properties passive income? Heard this? We all know it's a little bullshit. It's like owning a stock portfolio is passive, right? We've heard this. We know that's a little bit of bullshit. Yeah, I manage my stock portfolio every day. Every day I'm in it, doing a little review, just checking up on everything, balancing my accounts to maximize my return. If I just left it in there, I would earn 1/5 of what I earn. 1/5. If I just left it in there, I'd only make about 12 to 16% a year dividend yield, not including appreciation. I know the market went up 24% this year, so I would have had that too. But what I'm able to do in a month is actually get 25% of my money back in. I'm able to, if I have $5,000 sitting there, I'm getting $1,000 back in a month. Does that make sense? Because I'm not just sitting on it, right? I'm guarding, I'm watching, I'm in there, I'm investing actively. Same with my rental portfolio. The reason our portfolio has grown so much and it is managed so well, I'm not just trusting my private manager. I love her, she's phenomenal. But every week she gets an email from us with a big list of things that we're tweaking and we're checking and we're just, hey, what's going on here? What's this? We had a bill. How much was the, Ron, this bill was nuts. The shower, the contractor came back, it was like $1,800?
They wanted $1,800.
$1,800 to fix a shower for a leak on a property we're selling, one of our flips. And I was like, $1,800, like, send me pictures. I need to know. What is this? It got done for $200, right? Because I just, no, this is how this repair is done. Do it this way. Because the plumber came in and said, we got to replace the whole shower. False. We're just going to replace the fiberglass crack with a fiberglass seal kit. This is how it's done. Done, like, simple. I told her, I was like, I'll go down there and do it myself to save $1,600, right? Make sense? I didn't have to. They found somebody who was able to do it. She's a very good property manager. The point is, unless you're keeping an eye on your egg, your basket, like, results may vary. But that's okay. It is an active business. Now, I did that from the cigar shop, smoking a cigar. So relatively passive. Same with my dividends. I'm adjusting my stocks from my phone on the cigar shop. So relatively passive. But you gotta guard the basket, right? You gotta guard it. You can't just trust that it's gonna be okay, because it's not. Something will happen. You'll miss an opportunity in your business, right? So if I don't say, hey Andrew, have you done a video this week? What are the odds Andrew's gonna do a video?
50-50.
Andrew, 50-50? Does that sound like the odds I want to take?
No, I'll get it done.
I know you'll get it done. That's tweaking though. That's tweaking. If I just did the same thing with Matt 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was like, Matt, like, where are your videos, bro? Like, where are they at? If I don't tweak the business just a little bit, you guys run the business without me. You don't need me to run the brokerage, right? You guys run fine. Yeah, I got a couple of champions running this thing.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. If I don't tweak them, if I don't go back and say something, the RIA, right? Amy and Andrew run the RIA for us, the Real Estate Investors Association for the South Coast. They run that for us. But if I don't make little tweaks, little adjustments, they don't know. It's just one of those elements that you've got to keep an eye on your business, right? This is making sense. Don't get out of your business until you made $1 million. We told that was number 2. Don't get out. Was that number 2 or was that number 3? Oh, there was 3.
3.
There's 2. They're written down. They're on my Instagram. So 1 was think $1 million. 2 was don't get out of the business until you've made $1 million. And 3, no.
I thought
Pick the niche.
2 was
Does 2 pick the niche?
That should be number 1.
No, you gotta think $1 million. You gotta think $1 million number 1. Hold on, I'll go back. I'll
I'm
check.
gonna look.
Mario, whoever gets there first wins.
Yeah.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Which
The
order?
wealth rules. The order of the wealth rules.
Oh, think $1 million?
Think $1 million?
5 million?
No, that's not how we did it.
What?
That's there's only 4 rules. Talking about the 52 weeks.
Oh, that.
Yeah, I know what rules you're going off for.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Those rules work too. Oh, I did the types of money last night. Yeah, so principle 2, and you can go right on YouTube. And on YouTube, I've got all these loaded up. So principle 1 is think $1 million. Principle 2, choose a business that can make $1 million. Principle 3, understand the 4 types of money. We talked about the 4 types of money, right? There you go, Dave. So the 4 types of money are income, profit, flow, and equity. And flow is the one nobody has really heard of. I just posted a video about flow. Basically what it is the money in between, right? Right now we're doing a refinance for $2.5 million to bring money back into the business. Until that money comes in, I can't assign any contracts to it, right? I can't go and buy anything. Until private capital is raised, I can't go do renovations. Until the hard money is bought in, I can't close on a deal. Until the sale goes through, I can't go buy more. It seems like the theme of my life. I'm always waiting for something to be the next reason for me to go buy something. But it can go the other way. Until you find a deal, you can't go raise capital, right? Until you find the labor, you can't actually finish the project to go on to the next project. There's flow. That's where the money kind of goes in between. You've got to be able to keep a track on it. So our flow in our account is somewhere around $50,000 a month. Wow, it's gone up. $50,000 a month comes in and out of that bank account. Just flow, just moving, right? If you don't pay attention to it, it could be $60,000 coming out and $40,000 coming in. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. There's a flow to your business. You have to understand it. You have to keep an eye on it. You have to tweak it and adjust it. This is part of guarding the basket. So, week 1, think $1 million. Non-negotiable. If you haven't done it yet, you gotta start thinking like $1 million. Go back, watch the video. 2, pick a niche. Do not get out of it until you've made $1 million. You pick one thing. How many jobs are you working, Mariah?
Just 2 right now.
Just 2 right now. Just 2.
I cut back.
You cut back.
Yeah.
Good. You know you gotta cut back.
Working on it.
Mhm.
Around 2 weekends.
Okay. You gotta get it to 1. You gotta get to 1. And when you believe that there is no other option, when the mind says, I can't do anything else, all I can do is this one thing, suddenly it opens up. Are there people making millions in real estate as agents, Mariah?
Maybe?
Yes?
Of course.
Kyle Seaworth made $3.6 million last year.
I don't really pay attention to what other people are doing.
Probably should.
I know.
Probably should. So look at the champions, right? I didn't get here by just doing my own thing, right? I didn't get successful just being like, oh, I'm not going to worry about what other people are doing. I'm just going to do my own thing. That's bullshit. You've heard a coach say that, oh, don't worry about what other people are doing. Just do your own thing. You've heard that? Yeah. Bullshit, right? No. You've got to look at the champions, look at the killers, and model the killers. Do what they're doing. Don't question it. When I've had agents that I was training say, oh, you're doing the same things, Andrew, you probably heard this, right? Oh, you're just trying to be like Walter, you're doing the same things Walter did.
Yeah.
What's your response?
Alright, sure. Look where he got.
It worked.
I'm trying to do what he's doing, so
Yeah.
there you go.
It worked, you know?
And it works for me too.
Yeah. People know Andrew. Like, I'll see someone like, hey, I see that kid Andrew. Right? People recognize me and they recognize him instantly. He can go into places and people in the city know who he is because he's doing exactly what I did. Right? Building off of the same skill set that works. Social dynamics works. It's a science. It's something that works, right? If you want to get into social media and want to do it the right way, take the Agent Alchemist course. Andrew's done it. He's mastered it. The difference between you and the other people who've taken it is you actually did it. You implement it. There's people who've taken that course who don't do it, right? You taking the course?
I have.
Yeah? Do you do it?
Nope.
Love you though.
Yeah, but even then,
You
no,
implement other things, which
Yeah.
is okay. You've taken a lot of our training, you implement other things. That comes in a disc, right? That's personality. He's a high I, he's going to do the social stuff. You're a high CS, you're going to do the more technical stuff. It's just what it is, right? If you haven't been familiarized with DISC, there's trainings online. I put a lot of stuff out there for DISC a few months ago. Don't get out of it till you've made $1 million. Don't get out of it till you've made $1 million. Pick a business. Anybody been offered like Amway stuff, like Mary Kay, like, hey, come do this, I think I'd be great at this. I had it last week at auction.com. Thursday at the Rhode Island RIA, auction.com said, yeah, I think you'd make some money. I was like, well, what does it pay? And they're like, well, you get like $50 if people show. I was like, yeah, thank you. Peace. We're no longer at the $50 transaction. If I have to say something I'm going for what makes me $1 million, I'm not gonna waste that chance in front of people for something that's just gonna make me $50. I'm gonna spend that time investing in people to make $1 million. There's no more powerful message that I can deliver than making you a millionaire. By making you a millionaire, I'm adding another million on my stack. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's arbitrary, but by building you up, I'm adding something to me. By building your business up, I'm gaining resources on the other side. If you're an agent, cool. One day you'll work for me. If you're an investor, cool. One day we'll partner. One day you bring me a deal. If you're a wholesaler, I'll definitely pay you, right? You're gonna bring me a deal. If you're an agent, I'm definitely gonna pay you and bring me a deal. If you're somebody building a business, I'm gonna invest in you, right? You're gonna bring a return on investment back. There's so many different ways. And those are just the basics. There's so many ways that just relationships of how people have made me money, right? By you becoming successful, hanging out with the right people, now you connect me with the right people, right? But you can't do it if you haven't made it for yourself. The only way to make my city better is to get more people thinking about abundance. There's no, thinking about being poor, thinking about being broke, and the bad things that are happening doesn't make a city better. The only thing that makes a city better is getting people with ambition to think about getting better. Teaching people who have ambition how to improve their lives. Teaching motivated people, inspiring them how to get rich. Because if you're rich, you'll give back. I'm only one person. My wealth doesn't account for much when you look at a $4 billion city, right? Just the real estate value alone, that's not just what that's not what we're generating, that's just what we're worth. The real estate as is today is worth $4 billion, right? My wealth is nothing compared to it. You guys could come in here and compete and you'd never touch my wealth because I've got my own machine running, right? There's no competition. And in fact, one day I plan on not being here or owning anything. You guys are my replacement. I need somebody to buy it, right? Who wants seller financing deals, right? That's the only kind of deal I want to do. I don't want you to get a loan and give me money because then I pay taxes. I want to seller finance the next deal. Jim, you're late. I want to finance the next deal, right? This way I'm getting paid interest, because I told you that was my weakest flow of income was interest. I want to increase that flow. I told you I don't like paying taxes, so I don't want to pull my money out of the system. So I got to keep it in the system. By doing seller financing, I both keep it in the system and I increase my interest flow. Grasping it? So none of this do I want to hold forever. I want everything to be sold at some point. I want to make sure that I have the opportunity to give you the ability to buy that property from me. This making sense? Yeah? What time? Do I got time to do this one? Oh, I got a little bit of time. You guys get something out of this, right?
Yeah.
Before, when you walked in, you thought diversification was a viable solution. Maybe some of you knew, maybe it's wrong, maybe it's not. I want to be very clear. Diversifying until you've got $100,000, diversifying is ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. And at $100,000, if you're going to diversify in your business or into real estate. Don't diversify beyond that. There's no other system that you could leverage better. Unless you're like Carlos Bello and you're diversifying into trading options or stocks. But you must be knowledgeable in that skill set. Just like you can't just invest in real estate and expect to do well. You can't quit your job and expect to do well in real estate. I did it. It put me behind a year. I could have moved far faster had I kept my job and invested in real estate the way I do it now. Does that make sense? Has anybody ever fantasized if I buy enough properties I can just quit my job? Yeah. Not true. I mean, if you buy enough, and then you start selling one a year, you could live off of that. But the cash flow isn't there with the leverage. When we have bank-owned money, when we owe the bank money, that takes away a lot of our cash flow. Right now, we pay, I think, $18,000 a month in mortgages?
Yeah.
$18,000 a month in mortgages. So if we're pulling in $40,000 a month, and you have the 50% rule, 50%, this is how you calculate NOI, just basic numbers. We're pulling in $40,000, 50% rule puts you at $20,000, 18 mortgages, you got $2,000 cash flow, right? And we got a lot of property. Don't get me wrong, when we refinance our latest project, we'll be cash flowing another $8,000, because a lot of it is 12% interest. So that'll come back down. But to have 57 units, to be pulling in about 10 grand a month, that's a lot of units. If they were paid off, we'd be pulling in that 20,000 a month. That make sense? Mm-hmm. In the beginning, as you're buying, you're not going to buy as well as we do, because you just don't have the tools yet. Now, I don't want to put that out there for too long, because you can eventually acquire the tools to do the deals we're doing, but in the beginning you just don't have it. That's just being real. You can't go to the bank and say, yeah, I bought 90 units and I managed 57 and I have $3 million sitting in equity and just in that little portfolio there, right? That experience isn't there to give you the leverage with the bank. The hard money connections aren't there yet. But that doesn't mean you can't get them. But you've got to know where you're at. You got to recognize where you're at. In the beginning of this, your deals won't be as nice. You're not going to cash flow the way we cash flow. Right, Andrew? Amy? You're paying 100,000 a unit in the beginning. You're paying 80,000 a unit in the beginning. I've never paid that. No, I paid 71. I paid 72,000 for one single family once. But usually our deals are 50, 55,000 a unit, 40,000 a unit, 35,000 a unit. We're down way, way lower because we can buy wholesale. We can buy big problems. You're not there yet. So your cash flow's not there yet. So don't think having 2 or 3 families is going to cover you, or 3 or 4 3 families is going to cover you. You've got to have a stream of income coming in. And that's the first basket you've got to fill. It's got to be your business. You've got to load it up so that you can buy all that property to build that net worth. This is making sense? Is it somewhat annoying? A little frustrating, thinking like I gotta work that job still? This is reality, right? A lot of you, you're like, no, I got this. You're right. It's true. It's real. It's true. Good. Give yourselves a round of applause. You handled it well. You swallowed that pill pretty well. If it was me in the chairs, I would have had a hard time. But no, I know I got this. And if I could give you the lesson, it would be double your income on whatever you're doing right now. Take this next year to double your income on whatever you're doing right now. And if you're in a position where you can't double it, change the position. You maybe still work for the same company, you're just going to tweak how you're working for that company. Does that make sense? Hourly is not the option, clearly, right? If you're doing it hourly, you've got to adjust look at your company, look at how your company's made. How do they make money? Not everything they do is hourly. There's positions in that company, there's sales positions in that company that are not hourly. Understand it, learn it, get better at the skill set. There's people who, the business you're doing right now, the hourly position you're doing right now, there's somebody getting paid who runs a business to do that same exact position. Correct? Everybody can see that? If you're in accounting, there's an accounting company. Right? If you're, I don't know, Gold Medal Bakery, I used to rack haul. So there was a company I used to pay contractors to bring those people in to do those jobs. If you're driving a truck for somebody else, you can own your own truck. Right? There's opportunity wherever you're at. If you're hourly, there's somebody else who's built a business doing what you're doing. I'm not saying do that, but it might be a side hustle that you could acquire, that you could start doing that would increase your income and allow you to make more money to pile that into a better investment. Now, as far as buying property without other people's money, I do love it. It's my favorite way to buy property. But I think your first property should be bought with some skin in the game. You should have some skin in the game without using other people's money. Yes, use the bank's money, use a hard money lender's money. Absolutely, use some financial institution's funds because they are going to verify the deal for you. They'll make sure it's a good deal. Because they don't lend on it, don't touch it. Yeah? Trust me, you want their approval, especially in the beginning. And then secondary, make sure you bring in some skin in it. Even if you have to come up with $5,000 or $10,000, if you can't come up with that money in the beginning, you don't belong going. There's a saving feature that really is a part of investing. If you can't save up $5,000 or $10,000, don't jump into real estate. Focus on saving $5,000 or $10,000. And if you're noticing your bills are here and your income's here, it's time to either increase income or decrease bills. Yeah? If you can't decrease bills, guess what time it is? It's time to increase income. Right? Mariah, if I asked you, could you increase bills, or which one would you say is the harder? You can't go any lower, right?
No.
Everybody says that. But I agree with you.
Bit, but very, very little.
It'd be very little, right? It wouldn't. It's insubstantial, right? Everybody in the room could look at their expenses and say it's pretty insubstantial to decrease expenses, right? Yeah, I agree. Just increase income. Go make more. Increase income. Focus on more. Focus on one basket. Don't fool yourself and think that going selling solar is a good idea, unless that's your freaking basket and that's the only basket you're gonna run. Whatever you have that's a distraction on the side of you, if you're watching TV at night, if you're reading fictional books instead of educational books, if you're spending time with people who aren't encouraging you to build your business, this is all time. It's all money invested, potential opportunities for you to go and invest in your business, to build your side hustle. Gary Vee talks about it all the time. He's like, look, you got 8 hours of work, 8 hours a night, 8 hours of sleep. Work 16 hours, right? Do what you have to do to get yourself moving forward. Like Ron will say it to me all the time. He's like, oh, you say you're lazy, but I never see you stop. Except for when I take naps, right?
It's in the middle of the day.
In the middle of the day. But what he's seeing is me in bursts of hustle, bursts of grind, right? In those bursts, I look like a machine. You guys see my Facebook? All right, you see me on Instagram? Yeah. So I look like I'm never sleeping, like I'm always going. There's always something going on. You're seeing me in bursts. I'm exploding for short periods of time, and then I'm reading or relaxing. I'm spending time with people. But everything I do also improves the business, right? Everything I have a conversation with is somebody about real estate. It's somebody about, a tax accountant or a tax person or an accountant or a financial advisor or a lender or a bank or another investor or a realtor or a wholesaler. That's where my time is spent. You can choose your friends. Right here in this room, I'd rather hang out with you guys than anybody outside. You know why? A bunch of millionaires right here, a bunch of future millionaires. Every single one of you is on your way, looking to build wealth, looking to do more, looking to grow, looking to get to the next level. Out there, they're like worried about gas prices and shit. Like, I don't know, they're worried about the football game, they're worried about what the president's doing. They're worried about, like, will Biden get in or not? Like, who cares? It's not gonna pay me. It's not gonna move my city forward, right? They're worried about the person who didn't stop at the red light, or who cut them off. I don't even notice those things. I had somebody sitting in my car the other day, and like somebody cut me off, and I was like, oh, hope they have a great day. Like that came out of my mouth, and she's like, don't even flinch at that stuff. It just happened. Like it just whatever. Like I don't even notice it that happened. Right? The person just and she's like, oh yeah. I just told her, I was like, I hope they have a good day. Like it doesn't bother me. It's just you keep going because there are other things to focus on. There's bigger things in the play. If somebody cuts me off, I just stop, tap my brakes, survive, on to the next. Right? It doesn't have any effect on my life. Unless something did happen, well, now how do we solve it? How do we get out of this, right? I don't give a shit about like the energy or the anger or the frustration. None of that is real, right? That's something that you were taught to believe. That's wasting your time, wasting your life. That's taking eggs and pulling them out of the basket and putting them somewhere else. This is real stuff, right? Those eggs are valuable. Every second, every piece of energy that you put into the things that aren't growing you, it's time you're putting into things that aren't growing you. You're still filling baskets either way, right? There's two wolves inside of you, right? You've heard this before? Heard the story? There's two wolves inside of you. Which one survives? The one you feed. That's exactly right. You can feed your assets, you can feed your liabilities. Your money can only go two ways. It's either going to go to an asset, it's going to go to a liability. Nutritious food, asset or liability?
Asset.
Junk food, asset or liability?
Delicious.
Maybe in happiness, right?
Touche.
Life is complex. But if you look at it as a long-term play, if you look at it overall, we know what's good and bad for us. We know. Like, instinctually we know. But sometimes we take our eyes off the basket. We stop guarding. We stop protecting our health. We know whether this is an asset or a liability. It's simple to do the math. Will it come back to me bigger than I put it in? All right? Will the money be returned to me quickly? Is it safe? Do I know if this person's the right person to invest with? Do I know if this is the right thing for me to put my money in or not? And if you don't know, then learn. Ask somebody else who does know, right? That is the best investment that you can make. Benjamin Franklin said it. He said the best investment is in yourself, right? The reason I could build $1 million business next year anywhere in the country is because I've built $1 million business. All right. The reason you have to learn how to build $1 million business because you haven't done it yet. And the only way to get there is there's two solutions. One, Focus on yourself and see if it works. All right? See if you can figure it out. Or focus on somebody else who's done it and just copy. Just replicate. Just do what's already been done. And that's what I've chosen. All my coaches, I vet my coach out. Before I go and I pay a coach, I'm like, hey, what do you got? You know, what is your experience? What have you done? Where have you been? What is the level of success you have in your current career? Right? If they're kicking ass, I want in. If I can sense bullshit, or I can sense like, oh, that's not what I want. Oh, great, you're a crypto guy. Cool, you sound like you know what you're doing with that, but I'm not interested in crypto. I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to go spend my time there. Right? I'm not going to invest my money or my time or my energy in that direction. Right? Now, if you're a coach who's going to teach you how to speak, right? Speaking is the most powerful thing that I do. It's what moves the lever in more people's lives than anything else that I do. We get that? Because I'm speaking and I understand social media. Tie them both together. Demi, congratulations. Go get it. Dorina, how are you? Nice. Demi's taking a real estate test today. So give Demi a round of applause. Everybody's proud of you. There you go. Nice. She doesn't need luck. It's Demi. She's got this. This is your chance. This is your life, your one shot. Make sure that you take it. Make sure that you're investing your time the right way. If you have to burn 3 months, 6 months, a year, I was willing to commit 7 years to this. When I started 7 years ago, I set it in my head, I'll spend 10 years to make $1 million if I have to. I knew it. I committed. I was all in. I looked at my life and I said, well, I've worked the last 14, didn't pull it off. And it doesn't look like it's going up any further. It doesn't look like things are going to change. So I'm going to commit the next 10 to putting myself in the industry that I know will work, to learn the marketing strategies, to learn the tools, to learn the sales, the investment strategies, the relationships, to go deep dive into this one thing. I'll commit 10 years to this. So that at the end of it, I can guarantee that I've become a millionaire. That's what I was willing to commit. It took me 5. I've been doing it for 7, but it took me 5 years to hit the millionaire mark. It took me 3 years to retire. 5 years to hit a millionaire, 2 years to become a multimillionaire teaching around the country, to become a public speaker, to have a book. I'm not done. But it didn't take as long as I thought it would. But I was willing to commit 10 years. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Are you willing to commit 10 years to your success? Look, the time's going to go no matter what. I'm standing here right now saying, I know all the people who didn't make that commitment back then. I still know all my same friends who didn't make that commitment back then when I made that commitment. I know exactly where they are in life. I know exactly where I am in life. The 7 years passed no matter what. I'm changing people's lives, building millionaires. They're worried about changing tires on their cars.
Don't point at me.
Not you. Oh. You're a millionaire, bro. Give Ronnie Billions a round of applause. This guy's a champ. Sit in the background, keep an eye on things. Honestly, without Ron back there, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. And it becomes trusting yourself first is the first step. You've got to believe you're worth it before you can trust other people. Right. I trust Ron with he knows everything about my money. He knows everything about my finances. At any point, he could make a decision that makes me $1 billion or loses me $1 billion, right? But I put full trust in Ron because he knows what he's doing. We've vetted each other out. We've been on this path. We're constantly communicating. We're constantly checking. Are we in the right place? I trust myself enough to trust him. Does that make sense? I trust myself enough to train you so that I can trust you. Does that make sense? That's the first step. Just believe that you can do it. Trust yourself. Commit to the one basket. Put all your eggs in that one basket. Just commit to yourself. You move on your success. Believe in you and that you're going to do this, that you'll make a net worth of $1 million because no other form of $1 million really counts the same. Net worth of $1 million will earn you for life. Earning $1 million of just taxable income, that's the show-off's game, right? That's the guys you see driving the Lambos. You got the rings, they got the watches. It's fun, right? Don't get me wrong. But earning a net worth of $1 million, gaining that can buy you a lifestyle for the rest of your life that you can cover. Now, you'll get there and you'll probably say, shit, I want more. Mm-hmm. Or, I get it. But let's get there first. We agree?
Yes.
Yes? Let's commit to everybody in this room to hold each other accountable. Everybody in this room is going for the million. Yes?
Yep.
Yes.
We got 5 years to do it.
Hell yeah.
The first year, just get the 100,000. Just get that. Just get the 100,000. This is how it works. 100,000 the first year, $250,000 the second year, $500,000 the third year, $1 million the fourth year. Yes?
Done.
Notice the fifth year, I don't give a shit about it. That's contingency, right? The plan is if you can stack the way I'm teaching you, you can get there. But we got the fifth year just in case it takes you a year to catch up. Right? Some people are a little slower than others. Right? Some people have got to pound it into their heads that they're capable and that they're worthy of this and that's worth going after, right? Mariah? Uh-huh. Love you though. Alright guys, give yourselves a round of applause. Great training. This is week 4. Week 5. Week 5 is epic. I'm going to have Mike Shine come up here and teach. Mike Shine is a millionaire. He is an attorney. So he's going to teach the principle of how to build a business and why a business is necessary for building your wealth. He does invest in real estate. He does invest in stocks. He does invest in hard money. He lends his money out. But his flow, his income is his business. So he's going to talk about the value of his business and why it's so important to stay in one. He's not doing private law. I'm going to give this whole training away. All right. So, but even within law, there's so many different diversities. Mike is a millionaire. He's a genius. He is a father of 5.
Wow.
So he's a very busy man. Who here has a child? Who has 2? Who has 5? You have 5? All right. So you get it. So you're going to be talking to somebody who gets what it's like. My coach has 6.
Oh shit.
Right?
Why? Stop it.
Because accidents happen, Amanda.
I know. I wanted
That's
them.
why.
I wanted them.
Walter, I'm expecting any time.
What is it?
I'm expecting any
There you go. You're not having 6. But I'll tell you about my coach. So I'm going to Vegas next week. I'm leaving on the 25th. I'm going with Andrew McMurray, Amy McMurray, Mario, Marcia, Ray. You coming with us, Ray?
I'm going. No, not this time.
Oh.
I wanted to.
Next time. Emily's going. Joe isn't here in the room right now. Joe's going with us. We're going to Vegas to meet the millionaire, the Maverick millionaire. We're going to learn the Maverick selling system. The system I'm using right now to teach people how to become millionaires. There's a choice in life that you get. Upfront money or secondary money. I choose secondary money because it's a bigger payoff, right? But I was taught the Maverick selling system, how to train from stage, how to convince people to move forward. My sale is to convince you to get rich. That's my product. Once I've sold it and you've become rich, I'll work with you. I'll figure out something else to sell you that'll be worth more. That'll be worth transactional dollars, right? But until then, there's not enough money that you have that would satisfy me. We've got to get it to the point where you have so much money that I can go make you more money, you're going to be happy giving me money. Does that make sense? So the Maverick selling system, it's where I learned this. It's where I learned how to read people just by looking at what they're wearing, how they're dressed, how they're acting. I can read you, I know exactly how to work with you. That's a skill set that every investor, every business owner, every salesperson needs to have. He also brags about being able to double your money in the next 12 months. It is the Maverick selling system, how to double your income in the next 12 months. After a little while, he told me, though, it's really about your net worth. Like, if you really want to double your income, you want to double your net worth.
Don't give away the secret.
Well, so 3 days. In 3 days, he kicks your ass, emotionally, mentally, and physically, because we start in the morning and we go all day. 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock at night. And it's no joke. You get your dollar's worth when you go. So we're going to be going, so I'm also part of his mastermind, and the McMurray is part of his mastermind. So we go 2 days earlier than everybody else. So we're going to mastermind for 2 days with a bunch of other millionaires, multimillionaires, millionaires, and then people on the come up who are becoming millionaires. And we all mastermind, we talk about what's the one thing that we want in life, how do we get there, and we have 35, 40 other people in the room pushing us to get there. The advice that I've gotten out of that is the reason this company came out of that. Agent Alchemist came out of one of those mastermind sessions. The acquisition of the condos came out of one of those mastermind sessions. It was just like having bigger people think and open your mind up. So that's what we're doing. So I truly, truly believe in education. I will not be here next week, but I am having his training recorded so I can see it. Because Mike is one of those people that I just believe in. I love his story. I love what he's created. I love what he's built. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what he puts out here for the reason that you have to stick to one business and how to build that business, how to stay strong, and when the distractions come on, you don't take them, because he's obviously he's got distracted in his life, right? He's got 5 kids, right? You're gonna learn a lot. If you have 1 kid and you're having issues, he's got 5. There's no comparison. He's not doing it, except for you. In which case, makes sense. So that is this Saturday. This February 27th, we're gonna have Matt Pitchney come in. Matt Pitchney is, I think it's Pitchney. Is it Pitchney or Pitchney?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got it right.
Pitchney, right?
Pitching.
Pitchney. All right. So Matt Pitchney is a syndicator. Anybody heard of syndications?
Of course.
Syndication is how he owns 2,000 units across the country. He's a partial owner of 2,000 units all across the country. It's through something called syndicating. He's going to teach how he got into it, his first deal, and then he's going to talk about what he's doing now, how it works, the fundamentals between syndication. What frustrates me is I'm in Vegas during this, right? Because Matt is just one of those people. Matt and Mike are both people that I look up to. I really admire what they've built in their trainings. So Ron will be here to make sure it gets recorded. I would strongly suggest coming and supporting them. So both of these events are powerful events. They're both going to be very educational events. And I'm looking forward to adding them into the roster of what we have. But absolutely, if you're not training, if you're not committing yourself to a training a week, to reading the book a week, you're missing out. Other people are catching up. Other people are passing you. Right? The book of the week is the one thing. What is the one thing such that by doing it, everything else is easier or unnecessary? If you don't know what it is, that is your one thing. If you don't know what the one thing is that would make you the most money, then that's figuring that out is your one thing. Don't stop till you figured it out. It may change. It may change. It's changed, Ron? Has it changed for me over time?
Yes.
I come to him every Monday. I'm like, dude, great idea. This is the new thing we're going to do, Ron. We're making more money now. Mike, you know it, brother. I respect you. I can't wait to see what you deliver for us. So this week, focus on one thing. Find out your one thing. It may change. That's okay. But when you find it, just go all in. Go hard. Go all in. All eggs, one basket. Do that one thing until accomplished. And do that every hour, every minute. You really start looking at your life as what is the most powerful thing? What's the thing that's going to push the lever? What can I do? What can I cut out of my life so I can spend more time putting eggs in this one basket that's going to earn me all the money? Yes? All right, give yourselves a round of applause. Love you guys. Thank you. Well, your choice. I always work with the best.